Hi, Eric. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with you today. Invasion Season 2, amazing, looks incredible, and I feel we owe a lot of that to you to thank for that.
I was super excited to be part of it. Aliens and science fiction are something that I've probably got me into the industry so many years ago. So being able to get the trust of Simon Kinberg, the show's creator, and helping him develop this and bring it to life has been a dream come true.
Speaking of like kind of dreams come true, how do you balance kind of bringing these, the images of like Simon Kinberg and the other show creators to life and making it believable and but also still like out of this world?
We always rely on the special effects guys to help us with, moving things so that our CG aliens, then feel like they're actually interacting with something, whether it be um, rattling bars or stepping over cars or something like that. But also, it really comes down to the written word. If you have a good script that respects the science behind and the sort of ecosystem, I like to call it, that we built from season one. What can the aliens do? What can they plausibly evolve into doing? And if you stay within that, uh, it'll be grounded and it'll feel more real. Obviously, working with teams like Weta, Framestore, ILM gives you an opportunity to work with some of the best visual effects artists who can more accurately place a 3D object into a scene and light it in a way that you believe is real. So to the extent that you took away from the show that everything felt seamless, those kind of companies have a great deal to do with it.
Oh, it's a big collaborative effort with everybody to do that. Okay, okay, I can kind of see. I can get a better picture. It's not something it's something I can appreciate, but like I personally just don't. I'm learning. I'm still learning.
Sure, sure.
You talk about it starts from the written word. Could you take me through the process of like from going from page to screen with the VFX?
Yeah, I think a great scene to talk about is that the very first one, because it was super important to Simon, the creator, that the sort of slightly slow burn of season one be juxtaposed in the very opening scenes of season two, with a sense that you're being plunged right into a war. And so Alex Sakharov, the director of that episode, and I collaborated on storyboards and previs that helped, kind of mold that scene into something of a, first person. You feel like you're in amongst it, and bombs are, Molotov cocktails are going off. You've got people killed left and right. There's a big apocalyptic sort of moment where our heroine Mitski is able to take out a bunch of them, and she's seen right away as sort of the Pied Piper, leading people, and I think that that sort of progression where we really thought it out carefully really translates on the screen because it was shot exactly as we had planned, meticulously. And so that's why it's so successful. I think that scene is so successful is because there was a great deal of planning that went into it. Just to give you an idea, that scene, it took 6 weeks to shoot it. We were prepping it for an equal amount of weeks. And it took about 26 weeks to post it. So, it takes a long time to bring these things to life. Each one of these episodes is like a little feature film, a
Mm.
little 1 hour feature film. So yeah, it's an effort, like we said, a collaboration, and really extremely rewarding for the my team.
How do you balance out working with practical and CGI?
It's super important to do that. I think that the special effects team is delivers. We have a scene in a tunnel where the kids just barely make it out, and there's massive explosions and such. And I think without that sort of base to work on, we augmented it to some degree, but without that base to work on, things really start to look artificial. And so I think the practical aspect of the special effects art helps our visual effects art be completed to a point where again it becomes seamless. But there's a scene where the lighting, we have the entity character in season 2, which is this sort of I always call it like moving blown glass. It's this beautiful character. It has different emotions. It has to show to the audience, which was a tough challenge. But one of the great things that makes it successful is we have all kinds of color that help us with their emotions, blue, greens and blues being, more sedate, and then you get into the reds and you're more angry. And the DP created this lovely light board that was mobile and had a long post on it, and so he could move that and get it in close to the actress, and it would light her and the room around her. Things like that are what can I say, indispensable to the success of the final image.
So you kind of get that you have I can see when you're talking about that kind of base to work from, and then you get to like kind of flourish it out with the post and VFX. That's
Exactly.
okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
we're always asking special effects guys, hey, can you move this rock this back and forth so that when we step on it with a creature, it feels like it's interacting. All of those things are so important.
I'm still learning a lot about VFX still, and still big fan, but like getting to more of the technical side. Like as a VFX artist yourself, what is the one thing that you want to talk about that a lot of interviewers don't ask about?
No one ever talks about like getting to a final where the shot is finally really done. And what I mean by that is no one really asks what percentage of your time is spent in getting that last 10%. And what's interesting is the answer is getting that last 10% is the thing that takes the longest. Because you can, many visual effects shots that you see in a show that maybe didn't deliver quite what you thought was real, they're basically getting to that 80 to 85, maybe they get to 90, and they just can't get past that. They're not making that extra leap to the, oh, this is absolutely real. It's tough to do. And it usually comes down not to any software, but it comes down to individuals and an individual's artistry, in whether that be the beautiful texture that they've given, or the lighting, again, to make something feel like it actually is sitting in the scene. These are super difficult talents to master, and somewhat like a matte painting. I always say that there's only so many matte painters in the world that are capable of getting it to 100%. There's a lot of them who can get to 80, 85. and you find that those individuals getting it past the line are fewer and farther between. You know, obviously there's young kids out there today who are, you know, delving into this, who are going to become the next generation of those maestros. But it turns out that it's I'm thinking of AI, and I go, God, will AI do that? I don't know. It's about observation. I think it comes down to, you know, why is someone successful at that? I always said that when people say, oh, you know, how do you do this or how do you do that? And I go, I don't know. As a kid, I was a great observer. I mean, I watched everything. I watched a leaf fall and I thought it was interesting. I watched, you know, laid on my back and saw leaves moving or skies changing. Anything that happened in nature, I was transfixed by it as a kid, and always have been. I am today. And I know that it helps me make a decision about getting from 90% to 100 very often. Is that experience I had as a child and really continue to have, watching the world around me, observing, is super important if you want to, if you're coming up in this world of visual effects. Watch things, because they inform how you will have to create things in the future.
That's my time, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today. I can't wait for everyone to see Invasion season 2.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope everyone enjoys it, Kevin.
Bye.